Hi, gang. Excuse me. Hi, gang. It's Azseth. I'm going to do a video before I go to bed about whether I need this light on or not. Let's see. Yeah, forget it. So I'm sick still. I don't feel good. So I'm hoping I don't ramble on because I'm tired. Which reminds me, I got to go take that medicine. Thank you for reminding me. Hoping I don't ramble on, but I just feel this is important, at least in terms of me personally, because again, if I don't say this, I'm going to be thinking about this all night, and I don't like that. It'll keep me awake. This specifically is about the whole bombing of Syria, the Syrian air base, I should say. It's like we're just carpet bombing the entire country. There's a few big points here. I still support Trump, even though I don't support this decision. The thing in question is whether Assad gas-attacked his own people, or sorry, unleashed a chemical attack on his own people. I don't think he did. I believe this is I don't know if it's a CIA setup or what it is. I don't trust a lot of the agencies right now. And there's pictures going around. If you all get a chance, just look up Syrian photograph hoaxes. Look up the white helmet or white hat. I forget if it's white hat or white helmet group that's down there who stage attacks, stage victims. There's a couple picture threads going around where it shows several of the same victims being moved from one scene to another. Everything, even from that Aleppo, the kid stayed. The one picture's the kid in the ambulance, who's all covered with looks like powder from rubble, and I think he's bleeding from his nose, maybe, or just looks sad and pathetic, like he was just almost blown up. There's an actual video of them staging that. They get him together, they put this kid in there, they all walk out and leave him and then start taking pictures. And the reason that's important is if I find some kid in the rubble, I'm not an EMT, but now I'll just put myself in that perspective. So say I'm an ambulance EMT, find this kid who was almost blown up and we found him. I'm not going to put him in the back of a truck and be like, okay, let me get out so these people can snap some pictures of you. And this is important to frame where I'm going with this. I believe a lot of these things are hoaxes. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the term neocon. It's a misleading term today because it was originally about neoconservatives, which were people who were interventionists, thought we should insert ourselves militarily in places, we should be instituting regime changes that benefit us. I don't like that. And the interesting thing is now a lot of the liberals, even though the term neocon was a neoconservative, new conservative, Hillary, Obama, a bunch of the left Democrats are neocons. They prefer it. They don't mind it. Now, so I don't believe Trump made the right decision in doing that attack. Because let's look at this objectively. Excuse me. They say Assad gassed or chemically attacked these people. The first question is, well, the first thing is that there was another incident where this was reported prior, where it ended up being a terror organization who gassed people or chemically attacked people. That was first blamed on him. So it's not going to be the first time that something like that happens and it's not him. Furthermore, what is the purpose of him doing that? So let's look at this. Let's take a step back. If I'm Assad, okay, I have these people here who they may not like me, okay? I have the eyes of the U.S. on me, and I have the eyes of Russia on me, and I have the eyes of the world on me, okay? Now I'm like, I know the U.S. is threatening me, and Russia has my back, and I know that if I gas civilians, generally speaking, the world is like, that's bad. Even to the point where Russia would be like, ooh, you kind of deserve that. So what point what purpose, what agenda does Assad have to say? I'm willing to forsake the umbrella of protection from Russia. I'm willing to throw away any semblance of positive outlook towards me and my attitudes and my regime. And I'm also willing to go and poke, not even poke, slap the sleeping bear, the U.S. in the face, knowing how we would react to something like that. So what is the benefit of that for Assad? Just to do it? No, there is no reason for him to do it. Any reason he would do is negative, would cost him infinitely more than it would gain him. And, furthermore, there have been reports of weapons, chemical weapons, being lost, I guess is the lack of better terms. I'm sorry, I'm tired, but investigations where the government lost them there and they couldn't find them. They allegedly found them, they couldn't. And so, in short, with all that's going on there, it's completely feasible for it to, A, not be a Syrian government military thing, or a U.S. or Russian bomb that hit that place and excuse me, and caused the explosion that unleashed the chemical weapons. And I guess, so if I back this up, there's no proof of anything. I definitely don't trust the intelligence agencies, the same ones that sent us into Iraq. And speaking of Iraq and Bush, a lot of people tell me, because I'm pro-Bush. I liked him as a president for the most part. That's a whole other conversation for another day of hows and whys and why I don't hate him, because I do detest him for some reasons. But people are comparing Trump to Bush, and what I say is, regardless of how the outcome was, I believe Bush was justified in going into Iraq. And people say, well, he lied about weapons of mass destruction. And I disagree, because while a lot of the events today, I believe, are staged, again, look up the white hat, white helmet coalition down there. Look up the photo hoaxes. Now, the thing is, back when Saddam Hussein was in power there, he was gassing thousands and thousands and thousands of Kurds. And this wasn't something he hid. It was the tactic he used, a fear tactic. He openly did it. He was openly condemned for it. There wasn't some photos of a dead Kurd baby and a child crying. It was thousands of dead people and villages annihilated and people being forced to flee. Some people may not believe that a weapon that you have that will kill thousands of people is a weapon of mass destruction. It's my opinion that if you think that is not mass destruction, you're just simply a fool or naive. Mass destruction is not nuclear. If he said we're going in there because we believe they have nuclear weapons, that's to me different than using the term a weapon of mass destruction. That's just me. And I would argue that you're, again, willfully ignorant of the fact that if you have a weapon that will kill thousands and thousands of people with no cover, with no ability to seek cover, kill indiscriminately, baby, man, child, toddler, indiscriminately kill those people. If you don't think that's a weapon of mass destruction, you're a fool. So that's one of the differences I see between things like the situation going into Iraq and for George Bush. The outcome, I believe, ended up spiraling out of control into a money grab, but that's not why we were there originally, at least in my opinion. Again, that's another conversation for another day. So, my opinion is that Trump was kind of duped into this and made a bad decision and caved to the pressure. But the good news is, I don't believe this is going to have any serious blowback on his part. because nothing's going to happen. No innocents were killed. No Russians were killed. From what I understood, they pretty much evacuated most of that base. At least the Russians did, because some branch of the U.S. government gave the Russians a heads up. I'm sorry, excuse me. And some were arguing, I could agree with this, but I mean, in the outcome, even if I don't agree with the principle of doing it, but people are saying this is maybe even good. It shows a strong message to the Middle East. No innocents were killed, so there's no blowback. A lot of the people who were saying, and this is neocons included, which, excuse me, I hate neocons, are saying that, you know, we sent a message, good job, so it gives him, extends an olive branch to them in a way. So they're saying it could bring some cohesiveness. Us giving Russia the heads up was a good thing. We're not killing Russians and all that stuff. Again, so there could be a positive outcome. But I don't agree with it. So hopefully that comes out of it. And I'm hoping it doesn't escalate into something further. What worries me is seeing the U.S. pressing for regime change and getting rid of Assad. Do I think Assad is if I could handpick a leader, the person I think should be in charge of Syria? No, but I think it's none of our business. I think the stability he brings to the table is better, and being backed by Russia, I believe he can do better there, because again, whether it's Russia or us, them being, I'm going to use a metaphor, having him being under the boot of Russia or us, keeps him in check. So if he was going to massacre people, we'd be like, no, you're not going to. And so would Russia, because Russia doesn't want to be supporting a massive human rights violation. And some people don't say this, but Russia, besides all the Red Scare going on, the fact that they hacked the election and they're ready to nuke us at the moment, Russia is very similar to us, and they just want economic prosperity and stability. There's no benefit of them going to war with us, because it's just going to suck resources away, kill trade, and there's not going to be a Russian empire again. Like, those days are gone. It'd put them at odds with Russia. They are Russia. It'd put them at odds with the vast majority of Europe, us, Japan, South Korea, all of our allies throughout. There would be no benefit to them going to a war. And then there's a potential nuclear option, which no one wants, aside from maybe some crazy Islamic fundamentalists. So I'm hoping this pans out into a big nothing eventually. Not saying that it's good that we just, I would argue one of the worst things that we just spent almost probably close to $1 billion bombing them. But it could be worse, and hopefully this comes out positive. What's going to interest me over the next couple of days is what the agenda becomes if it's removing Assad, because I believe that that's a mistake. All that does is creates a vacuum. Let him stay there and do what we can to sanction him, work with Russia to sanction him, and keep him in check. Because it's better for both us and Russia to have the same interest there, which is stability and peace. No genocide, no civil rights violations, none of that junk, because that again serves everybody. But going in and saying we're going to do what we want, Trump platformed doing the opposite of that, being a non-interventionist, not being in favor of regime changes. And when was the last time we instituted a regime in the Middle East that benefited anybody, maybe for more than several years? And even if they did, it just benefited us economically for a short time before civil war. People rejected him. He was assassinated or ousted or had to use his military to quell uprisings or coup attempts. It's just a game that I think the U.S. should opt out of. Let someone else play that game. or do it in a way, like I said, via sanctions or by lifting sanctions to promote better political practices. Use those options, because the U.S. can do that, especially if we work hand in hand with Russia, instead of you doing the neocon Hillary and Obama thing, where we need to be aggressive on and show, we need to send a message to Russia. You know what message I would rather send? Not, hey, we'll go to war with you just because we feel like you may have hacked someone and we don't like what you're doing in some country that we have no business saying what should or shouldn't be going on there. With the message I would like to send them, be like, hey, we're willing to work with you to make things better in these places. What do you think of that? That to me is a stronger message than anything. I hope I didn't ramble on too much. Let me know your thoughts if you think I'm wrong, which I'm sure some of you are, understandably, because a lot of this is information that we're being fed from media, of course, because we all trust the media, right? That's another thing. Like, the media is reporting this as factual. I was like, oh, that makes me believe it even less. Government sources citing it. All these things are there's conflicting things. I can't say that I'm pro-Assad, but I'm definitely pro-stability and pro-sanction, I guess, pro-political influence versus military influence. Sorry. I'm going to go take my medicine, go shower, and go to bed. I hope that you all have a great night. Share your thoughts below, and go easy, gang.